Dying Light. A game I remember for maybe not pushing the boundaries when it comes to technical aspects, but allowing for a sandbox adventure that surprisingly leaves a lasting mark after the credits. With over 500 hours, I understand the hype in the Dying Light community, and I'm happy to see more people excited for Dying Light 2, which looks like a big step up from its predecessor. Dead Island was the creators of Dying Light's first attempt at the zombie genre. Techland, not widely known more than ever, brought Dead Island to the Xbox 360 and PS3 generation of consoles. I remember playing co-op with my dad, allowing for a kick-ass slaughterfest. Looking back on the game, which released in 2011, it doesn't really hold up the greatest, and that's due to their next project, Dying Light, which in my eyes is a step up in every single way. Techland didn't just evolve Dead Island into something greater, they created a new staple for the industry. Its story is nothing perfect and there's a fair share of bugs, but after many playthroughs with friends, you look back on the hoops you were thrown through. Techland allows you to maneuver and explore the world in whatever way you desire. You can stealth your way past the demons in the night using the help of firecrackers, or attack with all forces available, which can literally go as far as goddamn airstrike. It's crazy, but honestly you can do whatever. You can parkour, grapple, hang glide, drive, run, die again, continue to die until one of your friends drops an insanely strong-minded weapon, and even dance. Nah, I'm just kidding. But Techland shows they have a thing for funny Easter eggs, and you can run across them during your time in Haran. Go jump some pipes in the Mario World recreation, or watch a not-so-epic Plants vs. Zombie battle take place. There's a lot to see, and there's a lot to do. The world of Haran itself is well crafted and allows for many situations to occur. A good portion of the interiors are accessible, with surprises around each corner. Now, while a lot of the interiors look copy and pasted, you usually aren't in them for long anyway, so it's not like it matters much. You're not like Ghazi watching TV all day with his mother, but hey, at least he's keeping her company. And speaking of Ghazi, the side quests are pretty good. A lot of them are go to this location, talk to this person, go get this item, and give that item to that person, so it's pretty straightforward, but some of the side quests are awesome as you can get blueprints to advance your playstyle, and even update your room in the tower as you progress. Exploring the world is how you come across most of the better side quests that can lead to secret boss fights and unlock some of the game's finest loot. There's a lot of secrets in the game, like the Easter eggs I spoke about. You'll see a lot of throwbacks like here with George Romero tribute, which was put in the game after he passed. The quarantine zones in this game really stand out as well. First time playing them, they're new level of fun, even if they're pretty linear, but they put you in new situations to use some of your weapons in your arsenal that you may not have had an opportunity to use before, because it keeps you in close new environments that the game doesn't really have as much of. They're worth playing if you want something different, but I mean, if you have the game, I'm pretty sure you've already played them at this point. There's also a big variety of weapons to choose from, and to those weapons there's modifications. Want a hammer that blasts zombies away with an electric field like your Thor? Or you want to jump from roof to roof like a silent ninja and assassinate your enemies with a streak of flame? You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it, especially if how quick it is to maneuver. The parkour is Dying Light's best standout aspect and makes it stand tall over Dead Island by a mile. Being able to move so freely makes the game feel less linear, and with random events occurring throughout the game's world, you truly feel immersed. Going back to Dead Island, you seriously feel like a snail with how slow you feel, and honestly, it just makes me not want to play it at all. And by random events, I mean helping survivors, or fighting off runners, or getting flanked by a group of Rise's goons. The game allows for creativity at its best. Sometimes the story forces you into action, so you can't always stealth and take your own approach, but I think that's as to be expected with this type of story. If I were to put the story into 2 words, I'd say simple sweet. You're put in a lot of crazy cool situations, see the hardships of the members of the tower. You don't really get time to develop these characters, but they are humanized quite a bit. At times the game even gets emotional. An idea for Dying Light 2 is to develop the characters in their own side quests. I would have liked to see Brecken and some of the other members in action. It would have been cool as hell to go out with a run with some of the tower's members and see how they scavenge and fight off zombies. A lot of the time you're solo and that's cool, but bringing the game's cast more on this journey would make me like them a lot more. Not that they're bad, they're just a little flat. Like, what do you know about her? Yeah, that's what I thought. But I never forget what makes this game shine. The custom maps add another layer of fun, and there's even a fun spin on the Battle Royale genre in Dying Light Bad Blood, which is a separate game you can download, but it's kind of hard to find a game right now. It's a little dead. And Dying Light is not perfect in any way, but nothing is. It's got its flaws, but the good outweigh it immensely, and if you played it, you would tell. Dead Island was pretty popular, selling over 5 million copies, but in 2021, Dying Light has sold over 13 million copies. Many YouTubers showed off this game, leading to the game to create a big following of its own. A lot of people enjoyed trading and would host drop lobbies where you would see the highest damage weapons. Many people got a lot out of this game, and so did I. The only reason I'm still here is because you're still watching, so thank you. I appreciate it more than you ever think. What's great along with the parkour, weapons, and run itself is the zombies. They never get repetitive, especially with how throughout the game they continue to throw different types and varieties at you, upping the difficulty the more your player becomes advanced. Yeah, Dying Light is pretty easy, but these special zombies make your journey harder throughout, more than you'll probably expect sometimes. Once you've progressed and gotten the best of the best, you can kill a demolisher in a couple shots, but sometimes it's fun playing Dying Light not being an unstoppable god, but especially during the night gameplay. The night turns Dying Light into a straight horror game sometimes, giving me vibes of Alien Isolation with how terrifying the volatiles are, and some of the situations how they might play out. And might I must say, these things are fucking terrifying. Playing the game the first time and going through the night chase sequence at the airdrop site gave me memories back to the first time I went through the night cycle in Minecraft. As you could see by checking out my last video, I still suck. The music doesn't help any too, but that's what makes it awesome. Everything is so moody and everything reflects around you with the imagery and the world just reflects in the music. Dying Light has this cool techno beat going for it when something crazy happens. I really hope the composer for Dying Light 1 returns for the second because he did an extraordinary job making Haran feel truly moody. The world for what it is pretty and sometimes beautiful. Techland did a great job at making Haran worth exploring. Haran itself feels like a story as you see through the sightseeing and wandering through the hallways of the homes of people you probably just killed. You really fuck some people up in this game, like, really. Everything all comes together and creates a satisfying package, but that's not all. Dying Light had an expansion, a pretty big one known as the following. A lot of people look at this as a better part of Dying Light, and I have to disagree. Don't get me wrong, driving the landscapes of the Haran countryside is refreshing and fun as hell, but there isn't as much to maneuver on once you're out of the car. Maybe I was just never invested in the car enough, but getting stuck without your car and having to run for minutes to call your car back gets a little annoying, but that's just my luck though. There's just something so fun about satisfying jumps and hitting the right fluid grab, especially when runners are chasing you and the tension is high. You always have to keep moving unless you're an overpowered god, like I said. The following throws random runners at you a lot, so it becomes a little irritating sometimes. Like, seriously, it's pretty random. But same as the slums in Old Town, the good outshines the bad. Exploring the world, you'll find caves infested with volatiles, or a hole going underground in the middle of a random shed, or even a large dam with explorable tunnels beneath. There's a different type of variety in the following, but still a lot of fun and doesn't lose the Dying Light charm. The story is decent and has some really good moments, even though the endings are a little unsatisfying, but maybe they ended them that way to set up Dying Light 2. I'm not sure, but time will tell. The co-op in my eyes makes the game a ton more fun as well. Being able to explore and play through the narrative with friends continues to better the experience and is one of the bigger highlights. Once you beat the main story, there's quite a bit to do. Of course, it's not on the level of an RPG where there's constant quests and events always going on, but it's more than enough. Apparently though, Dying Light 2 will play more like an RPG while staying true to the original. We don't really know much right now, so let's hope Techland adjusts everything well. Dying Light is fairly balanced, so I have faith they'll pull it off. Techland a few years ago after the following release decided to drop free DLC to the world as they worked on Dying Light 2. The first big one known as the Prison Heist. A time-limited event where you have to speedrun through a prison to get the best loot you can. I never was one to speedrun, but playing this repeatedly with friends never gets old. Being forced to keep on fighting every second keeps the tension high. There's very few moments during the heist where you actually can relax and heal up. The Prison Heist is a fun time waster if you want a challenge to grind up and stack up on some levels and loot, which leveling up in the game is pretty satisfying. As you progress, you learn more moves and can advance the way you play. Once you're fully leveled up and reach legend level, you feel like you're floating sometimes with how smooth and satisfying the maneuvering feels. And not even just that, the skill tree changes the combat as well. Later on, Techland added new enemies, weapons, and events to spice up the gameplay experience. Last year, Hellraid was released, a medieval dungeon brawler with the combat of Dying Light. While I never played it myself, seeing Techland continue to add more to this game makes me excited to see what they'll do next. They continue to state they're not done with Dying Light, and that's cool. This game seems to have a lot to offer, especially if you want a sandbox adventure with a wide variety of enemies to block your path. Dying Light is one of my favorite games for allowing me to bring my ideas to life. I've made a lot of content because of the world Techland made, so thank you Techland for creating Dying Light. It's been a fun ride this year and I can't wait to see where it all goes.